In the universe of NXT, where traditions often sway, Valentine's Day transforms into Vengeance Day. Locked in combat, a quest for the gold, championships and loyalty. A dream yet to behold.
We gonna win the Dusty Cup. We gonna win them tag team championships.
The Wolf Dogs are on the hunt.
It's been a long time since I've had some gold. I'm with that.
Through trials and tribulations, teamwork tested anew.
Trick, you deserve your title match on a big stage.
Vengeance intertwined with friendship. An unlikely view.
Ilya sees you as a threat. He knows that you're gonna have to wrestle twice in the same night.
Your love, a title, glimmers on display.
Everybody's been able to witness the rise of Lara Valkyria, while I've had to chase down a championship that I never lost in the first place. This is a match that everyone wants to see.
But after Vengeance Day, you will always stay behind me.
In a friendship's decay, golden dynasties fall as new champions emerge to realize destiny's call.
New North American Champion!
I dropped Dragon Lee because I am backed by destiny.
Over, I won the championship rematch that I deserve.
I'll see you at Vengeance Day!
Feel the pulse of the crowd, a rhythmic beat, where ambitions and spotlight at Vengeance Day meet.
You and me, we finish what we started. We win the Dusty Cup, and then the main event. Me, Ilya, for the NXT Championship.
Trick, you ride a wave of momentum that has been barely ever seen before. But I will do whatever it takes to remain NXT champion!
The baddest man in NXT versus the hottest superstar. And I'm gonna be your new NXT champion.
Can you tell me how village again?
And now, WWE presents NXT Vengeance Day.
With WrestleMania weekend approaching, every superstar dreams of becoming champion. Tonight, for some, those dreams become a reality. For others, their dream ends. Welcome to Vengeance Day. I'm Vic Joseph ringside, and for one night only, I welcome back with a lot of excitement, Wade Barrett.
I cannot tell you how excited I am to be back under the roof of NXT, feeling this buzz, seeing the superstars again. And then I bumped into Vic Joseph, and I recalled exactly why I left in the first place.
Well, we'll work on that as the night goes on, but we're kicking off tonight with the finals for the Dusty Cup.
Introducing first, the team of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams.
Oh yeah! I dig it! Trick Willie! Chamon!
What are you doing?
I was feeling the magic. It's MC Bullhammer.
Now, you're about to get sued again by Booker T, but we are getting ready to kick things off with the Dusty Cup Finals and feel the energy here tonight. To assume these guys are on the same page, or is this a little bit of a one-upsmanship?
Absolutely appeared to be the case. I don't think Corbin was anticipating Bron Breakker having his own chopper.
And their opponents, the team of Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker.
Back in the good mood, we need to get some choppers. Imagine us rolling down the street.
That's a horrible idea. You stick to your BMX, pal. Leave the hogs to the big boys. You can handle that throbbing.
Just as wild as Booker. We haven't even started tonight. But just feel this. Wade, look around. Feel the energy. Everyone on their feet here at Vengeance Day.
No seats required at all tonight. I am hyped for this one.
And this again, the finals in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Started with 8 teams. We're down to the final 2. The winner of the 2023-2024 Men's Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes announced this tournament back on October the 10th. The winner gets their name etched on the prestigious Dusty Cup and become the #1 contenders for the NXT Tag Team titles. Take a look at all 4 of these superstars finally getting locked in, and it's like the American dream would say, you pay your dues, work your way up through the system, whatever system there is.
Yeah, it's rare you get opportunities for gold, or in this case, silver, and when they do come along, you have to learn to grab them.
The 2 superstars in the ring, Bron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes, have created a lot of magic here on Premium Live Events for NXT. No doubt who the NXT Universe is behind here tonight, but I come to you. Can Trick be 100% focused on this match, with that NXT Championship matchup still to come?
Well, this match right here is Act 1 of a 2-act play tonight for Trick Williams. 0 chance his head is fully in this match. He has to have at least one eye on tonight's main event in the NXT Championship.
Well, we talk about Dusty's comment too, and we take a look around at all 4 of these superstars in the ring. Baron Corbin, someone who did just that, worked his way through the system, has reached great heights, WrestleMania moments, championships. He has returned here to NXT. Bron Breakker, who just turned up a gear to run over Trick Williams. He and Hayes have been to the top of this brand, and by the end of the night, Trick could join them and be whining and dining with Kings and Queens as the NXT champion.
Well, you ain't lying, but Trick Williams could also end up empty-handed tonight. He spread himself very thin despite a nice start to this matchup.
Well, now all 4 superstars in the ring, things starting to break down.
Yeah, and if you're throwing the heavy leather like this, I've got to back Corbin and Bron, but it is indeed the team of Trick and Mello who got the best of the early goings.
It appears now Hayes, Williams on the same page. You know, at the start of this tournament, not many people thought that the Wolf Dogs would be the team that had less drama coming into the finals.
Yeah, they started off as that odd couple pairing, but there is this unique chemistry about them. They bicker, they squabble, but I think they like each other, and deep down they found 2 kindred spirits, and they're a hell of a team together.
Well, Trick Williams back in the ring now here with Baron Corbin. Ooh, nice neck breaker into the cover. Hook of the leg, and Corbin kicking out at 2. Look, you were crowned King of the Ring back in 2015. You had to compete twice in one night. Exactly what Trick Williams has to do here tonight. How difficult is that going to be for Trick?
Yeah, that was one of the most difficult nights of my career, but the difference with me and Trick was the fact that my opponent that night in the King of the Ring final also competed twice. It was a level playing field. When it comes to later tonight, Dragunov, the most intense competitor in history of NXT, is going to be completely fresh. We don't know what state Trick Williams is going to be in.
Hayes slugging away on Corbin, and some believe Mello is jealous of Trick's rapid rise, hoisting up Corbin, and others like Booker T don't believe that Mello is jealous at all.
Yeah, Booker T's a smart man. Let me tell you this, Trick and Mello have been side by side from the beginning, and now they are firing on all cylinders. Mello is here to support his boy, but first things first, win that Dusty Cup.
Well, as we've been talking about it, and right now it's Mello, it's Corbin looking for that. Whoa, that fadeaway drop in Corbin is Mello.
Well, let's face it, it would behoove Trick Williams more than anyone to get this matchup ended quickly.
So what is your take on the Hayes-Williams relationship?
They're boys. They've got each other's backs. All the rest is just nonsense. It's hype from people like you. It is gutter journalism.
Well, to your point, having each other's backs, Trick for a moment had Hayes' back. Now Hayes turning right around, flying through the air, dropping Corbin. But look at Braun. Braun now from behind. Bam! What a cutter! And just like that, Braun Breaker turns the game around.
Explosive nature, timing, technique. This man has it all. It's no wonder SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis has already offered Braun a contract.
Very right. You know, how impressed were you? How impressed you with Breaker's Royal Rumble appearance?
He was brilliant, wasn't he? Showed the world what everyone here in NXT has known for a long, long time. The offers are coming in thick and fast. He's going to go to Raw on Monday, get a counter offer from Adam Pearce.
Well, Braun's 4 eliminations matched that of winner Cody Rhodes for the most in Tampa. Oh, it's Baron Corbin turning Hayes inside out, looking down on that Dusty Cup.
Just a reborn and a rejuvenated Baron Corbin. What a trip down to NXT it has been for him. Take a look at the sheer power of the man. For my money, a man who should be a multiple-time world champion at this point. Got slightly derailed, but now the train is back on the track.
You like the Wolf Dog's name, don't you?
Oh, I love it. The Wolf Dog's. Look, I'm not a dog guy. If I was going to have a dog, it would be a wolf dog. That just sounds cool, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, these guys have been off the same page, on the same page, coming out, as you saw, to start the night. Again, a unique partnership, an unlikely bond. But I want to talk about Baron Corbin, because as we mentioned, he returned to NXT with unfinished business. How does that drive a superstar, as Corbin tagging out, Braun Breaker tagging in?
I'll tell you the truth about Baron Corbin. He's a man at one point, not so long ago, it looked like his career was swirling down the toilet. The guy is simply too talented to be in that kind of position. You want to tell me, you want to figure out why he's driven to get back on top? That right there, you take a look at the abyss. You take a look into this black hole that could be your destiny unless you fix things, and he's fixed things in a big way.
Corbin was in the finals of the inaugural Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And Corbin just got, or excuse me, Breaker just got caught and then got dropped. My mind was on Baron Corbin, should have been on Braun Breaker as a near fall, and that could have been disastrous.
But Braun almost got decapitated there. It just goes to show how dangerous it is in this ring. When you get a little momentum, you take your eye off the ball, and this is Braun cleaning clock.
Devastating lariat from Braun Breaker. As I was getting ready to say, it was Baron who might need Braun to finish some business here tonight and finally get his name on the Dusty Cup.
Yeah, I spoke to Baron earlier tonight about this. Lost it the first time in 2015. Won't happen again, pal.
Float over off the suplex into another cup. A little pump for Braun Breaker. And again, you know, we talk about what we just witnessed, but Braun Breaker's intensity, he's not bothered by what just happened. A little slip up, he overcame it quickly, continuing to devastate, punish his opponent as he makes a tag into Baron Corbin.
Yeah, just laughed up the potential neck injury, catching his neck on the top rope there. Such is the durability of Braun Breaker. We've seen it time and time again. He's built double tough.
Up and over, whoa, shoulders out for a moment. Mello not able to keep Corbin down, and Corbin just running right over Carmelo Hayes. And Corbin and Breakker have been so impressive since coming together as a team just a short few weeks ago.
Sheer power, sheer experience, and once they got on the same page.
Pure power again, hooks both legs, covered another near fall. Hayes just able to kick out and keep his Dusty Cup dreams alive along with Trick Williams.
And I'll tell you this, when you come up against a team like Braun and Corbin, as we take another look at this superb tandem offensive time in between the team. Your best hope against a Bron Breakker and a Corbin is they're so big and strong, you simply hope that they're not going to be particularly athletic. That's not the case.
We're on the road to WrestleMania. This is the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. One of these two teams will etch their name on the Dusty Cup, become the #1 contenders for the NXT Tag Team titles, currently held by the family, who are getting ready for 6-person tag team action later on tonight. As Carmelo Hayes so close, but Bron Breakker not letting go of the wrist of Hayes. Oh, looking for the cheap shot. Trick was ready. Hayes flying in, so close, reaching out.
Your fingertips away, but that must feel like a million miles when you got Bron Breakker beating you up.
Was looking for the cutter one more time. I believe it was countered, but still a nasty landing from Carmelo Hayes. So much has been taken out of Hayes, but he's so close. There's Trick Williams, his boy, his tag team partner.
Fresh Carmelo Hayes would have landed that one on his feet, but man, he has been put through the ringer by these two big boys.
In comes Williams, in comes Corbin. Trick looking to continue to prove he's more than just a sidekick here tonight, pulling double duty.
Trick Williams, fresh as a daisy.
Williams is on fire and might have jammed his knee a little bit, but look, Trick Williams trying to fight through the pain here, certainly does. Just a little hiccup, maybe on his road to the Dusty Cup Championship, and
Connecting with a big Uranagi there, and you have to think Baron Corbin is hurting at this point. This is Trick Williams at his best. Little tweak there perhaps, but back on top in a hurry.
Yeah, not missing a beat, neither is Carmelo Hayes, tagging right back in. Slipped a little bit on that middle rope, able to connect into the cover, and another near fall. These four are laying it on the line.
We're having some rope issues in the early goings of this match. Are these regulation ropes here in Clarksville?
I would assume.
I hope so.
To get someone on that is now Carmelo Hayes trying to power up Baron Corbin.
Yeah, that's a bad idea at the best of times. Never going to be Melo's strength. But getting cute like this is exactly what Melo does best.
Hayes able to sidestep one. Big kick, rocking Breakker. And now both superstars in. And oh, into the top turnbuckle goes Braun this time. Right back in. Oh! Look at the teamwork of Williams and Hayes.
No one does his homework like Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, this action spilling around. This could be it. Oh, not enough again. Just able to kick out at the last moment. That first 48 connected, got all of it, but not enough.
Yeah, well, Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker know each other very well. No surprise to either one of them about their durability.
Both teams know how important it would be to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Take a look at the 2022 Dusty Cup winners. The Creed brothers had a huge four-way matchup this Monday on Raw, but right now Hayes, Williams trying to focus on the here and the now. Bron Breakker, a 2-for-1.
No
you
way.
gotta be kidding me!
Hayes cleaned out of there. Trick Williams, I believe, is the legal man right now.
And Braun barking at Baron.
The end may be nigh for Trick and Melo. Oh, no.
Wait a minute. We said they'd lay it all on the line. Look at Corbin. Look at Braun.
Baron Corbin, a 280-pound man, never designed to fly without the propulsion.
And you were right.
Baron Corbin.
Trick Williams is legal. Back to the action. It's a cover. It's a counted. Hayes just able to break things up.
Oh, I think he landed on Trick. Inadvertently, it might be added.
Hey, look, a little miscommunication, but the match is continuing. You got to be looking out. Oh, and that was nasty. And right back in for some deep six. made his back crack, his liver quiver, and it's not enough to put Trick away.
Trick is now tasting his own blood. Let's not forget, he's got to compete again later tonight. He is getting put through the walls tonight by these two big brutes, and the pendulum has fully swung back in favor of Braun and Corbin.
It's the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And the NXT Universe trying to rally Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, as Braun Breaker may be going for broke.
You have to in a match like this. Give it all you've got.
It's all about making history. It's all about honoring Dusty Rhodes. Is it Braun and Baron's night? Braun getting both Williams and Hayes back into the ring, and in comes Corbin. Things again breaking down. I feel bad for Dallas Irvin, our official.
Simply got to flatten everything in your path in a match like this. Take out both opponents and pick the one who's in the worst shape.
What is on the mind of the Wolf Dogs?
They've been working on the playbook together.
Williams trying to throw some hands. Oh! Hayes trying to do the same, create a little bit of separation. And Hayes dropping Braun.
Right where Carmelo Hayes wants him.
Looking for nothing but no! Got caught, looking for ended ages. Corbin landing on his feet. Big neck breaker from Trick. Spear! Wait a minute, Hayes is legal. Braun and Baron have won the Dusty Cup.
Here are your winners of the 2024 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker.
Absolute heartbreak for Hayes and Williams. But hats off to Breaker and Baron.
What an absolutely chaotic matchup. All four men giving it everything they've got, including a high-flying Braun Breaker.
But here was, I think Carmelo was trying to save Trick for the moment, but inadvertently then cost his team in the end.
There's Trick Williams cleared out of there. Didn't get back in time to break up the pin, but a 9-year redemption arc for Baron Corbin, who lost in the finals of the 2015 Dusty Cup. But now he's got his man Braun Breaker, and they are covered in glory tonight. The Wolf Dogs get it.
Throughout this tournament, egos were checked, friendships were tested. Congratulations to Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin.
A lot can change in 1 year.
We are unable to identify what caused Ms. Perez to collapse. As a result, I am unfortunately unable to provide an estimated date for Ms. Perez to return to in-ring action.
I know things can change because everything has changed for me.
Here is your winner and new NXT Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyria!
I'm not the same Roxanne Perez that won the Breakout Tournament. I'm not the same woman that challenged for the NXT Women's Championship. I don't miss that girl.
Roxanne Perez looking to make statements of her own. No longer someone to be pushed around.
I'm finally getting my one-on-one match against Lyra Valkyria.
Perez, the #1 contender.
Everybody's been able to witness the rise of Lyra Valkyria while I've had to pick myself back up, jump through every hurdle, dig deeper, and chase down a championship that I never lost in the first place. At Vengeance Day, I'm doing it my way. Because now, I'm the Roxanne Perez that has nothing to lose and everything to gain.
The Well, still to come, can Roxanne Perez reclaim what she never lost? It'll be Perez and Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship tonight at Vengeance Day.
Is a no disqualification match. Introducing first, Dijak.
We weren't there Tuesday, Wade, but we talked about it earlier. Did Dijak overstep a line this past Tuesday?
He overstepped everybody's line except for Dijak's line. The scary thing about Dijak is this guy is so cold-blooded. He is so soulless. No lines ever exist for him. There is no depth to which he will not stoop to get what he wants, and that is truly terrifying.
I wonder what sort of destruction or
His opponent, Joe Gacy.
And we just talked about Tuesday, right? So when it comes to Joe Gacy, when it comes to Dijak, this certainly has been an issue that has been boiling over for quite some time. But I do want to go back to what actually happened this past Tuesday on NXT between Dijak and Joe Gacy. Gacy right here, as you see, on top of a production truck, a crew truck on the loading dock. Dijak with no remorse with Joe Gacy all evening long, and then this would happen. This would transpire, and it was just absolutely unreal to see and witness live, and it forced our NXT General Manager, Ava's hand, to make this a no disqualification match.
Dijak is a destroyer of bodies. He's what he does better than anyone, and he's got that nightstick right from the off.
Oh, that nightstick would be legal, and so would that. Oh! These two swinging for the fences, and I don't think we're going to see many wrist locks and drop toe holds in this matchup.
This might be over in about 15 seconds. We've already got the heavy artillery in there.
And no rules, just right for these two, and these two have brawled all over the Performance Center. It actually started at the announce desk, to be fair. We already relived what Dijak did to Gacy into the dumpster, but we also have seen Dijak put Gacy through part of the staging at NXT.
As I was saying about Dijak, he likes to annihilate people. He gets what he wants through physicality. What has upset Dijak is the fact that no matter what he throws at Joe Gacy bounces back with a smile on his face. That has hurt the psyche of Dijak.
Dijak hasn't even taken off his jacket yet, and Joe Gacy not allowing him to.
Well, Dijak turned up with the nightstick and thought it was going to be all over before he even broke sweat. It's not going to be that easy.
NXT Universe, they won all the toys tonight. And these two have had 5 days to come up with a lot of destructive ways to destroy the other.
Yeah, I'm getting very nervous at ringside here. A lot of things flying around. We need one of those protective coal mine things that I used to see back in the day.
Well, look, yeah, I don't know about the coal mine, but as we take a look at Gacy and Dijak, I think it's safe to say this isn't the same Joe Gacy that you last saw here in NXT.
No, well, here's the thing. I know what we've got with Dijak, and it's absolutely terrifying. With Joe Gacy, I don't know what we've got. I don't know what goes through his head. And that perhaps makes him even more scary.
You know, Gacy has dreamed up of ways to hurt Dijak tonight, much like right here, cannonball! As your SmackDown partner would say, clear the deck.
Take another look at a flying Joe Gacy, putting his own body on the line in pursuit of victory. Man, this is one durable individual with a sick and twisted mind, and that spells bad news for Dijak.
Nice, you got your thing in, but hey, I want to talk about this too. When it comes to Joe Gacy, what does it say about Gacy, who broke into Dijak's office, his lair, was playing around with all his toys, used his tape recorder? Who does that?
A lot of people say he's got a twisted personality. That, to me, is a PR spin on the fact that Joe Gacy is clearly an absolute nutcase. You stay away from men like Dijak in this industry unless you're a masochist, unless you have a death wish, and that may well be the case with Joe Gacy.
Look at Joe Gacy again. He's had 5 nights to figure out what to... What?
Is that your candy?
No, those are toys, you nit. Look at those things, little cars. What is that? It's a little toy soldier.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what I'm getting at with this guy. You've got nightsticks. God knows what else is under the ring. And he's out here playing with toys.
Hey, you ever step on a Lego at 4 o'clock in the morning? Those things hurt. And that's a whole crate full. Oh, man.
Gonna be a lot more than stepping on this Lego if that's the case.
Dijak tried his best. Oh, averts danger for just a moment, and Dijak right in, spinning, boom!
Flush to the jaw of Joe Gacy, who now has a bizarre wry smile on his face in the aftermath.
Well, Joe Gacy not cut out of the same mold as others and kicks out at 1. And look, when it comes to Dijak, you just wonder what sort of destruction we're going to feast our eyes on here tonight. This just a little taste of what Dijak can do. But look at Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy is welcoming the pain, welcoming the destruction, as right now just raining down rights is Dijak.
Yeah, and that is just a red rag to a bull of Dijak. Everything you throw at me, I'm going to come back at you with a smile on my face. This is just going to get worse for Joe Gacy.
Into the cover, center of the ring, hook of the leg, and again, Gacy kicking out at 1. I want to go back to something you said earlier, Barrett. How frustrating could it be for Dijak that nothing he has done has kept Gacy down, not just here tonight, but over the last few weeks?
Not just that.
And he's smiling.
It's the fact that Dijak has done this before to human beings. It has always worked. Tonight is a different story. There's something off about Joe Gacy, and Dijak doesn't like it.
I think Gacy's gonna stay down. And Dijak has never faced someone like Gacy, and now just stomping away through the trash can. I mean, I know this is no disqualification. Everything's legal. And for Dijak now with a sick smile on his face, how dangerous could he be in this environment as again Gacy rises?
Well, I'll tell you right now, this kind of match is only ever won by the competitor who is prepared to leave humanity at the door when they walk in this building.
I told you to stay down, Gacy. I told you to stay down. And now, you're gonna pay the price.
Well, Dijak has a plan. Have you ever seen a counter like that? Gacy used the trash can to his advantage, blind.
Yeah, and after that level of beating, somehow it's Joe Gacy who is stirring first. Watch this, straight into the chest and perhaps jaw of Dijak. Desperately trying to shake the cobwebs off, but it's now Joe Gacy who perhaps is in the ascendancy.
Look at Gacy swinging away, and I don't think Dijak has ever faced someone like Joe Gacy. I mean that because he can't keep Gacy down. Gacy is welcoming everything and anything that comes his way as he turns Dijak inside out. Does Gacy charges in, catch, and a big Uranagi. Could that be it? Dijak just getting that left shoulder up, and the crazy part of this is, Wade, I don't think Gacy wanted the match to end right there anyways. I think he's having fun right now with Dijak.
How the hell do you have fun in a match like this amid the chaos and barbarity of a no disqualification match? Well clear of Joe Gacy. That's my advice to everyone in the locker room. Go!
the one thing Gacy does know, the only way to win is pinfall or submission inside the ring.
Exactly where you need to be. What a sickening landing for Dijak, and how he's back up and at him already, I will never know.
Not only was he up, he delivers that choke slam on the chair, and another near fall. Dijak's body went crashing through, and as did Joe Gacy's through that steel chair, but both men continuing to rise as listen to the NXT Universe.
Both men running on fumes at this point, but the hatred inside Dijak is simply too much, driving him on, pushing him perhaps towards victory.
Well, no one ever safe around Dijak, but as this matchup has gone on, I mean, both these guys are just a different breed
well, what a
of
mess
superstar.
Dijak is in right now. Say what you want about Joe Gacy, Dijak is hurting bad, and when you take that massive frame of Dijak and put it through this much torture, that in itself is an achievement.
Well, Dijak just trying to pull himself to the top, and there comes Gacy. Gacy sensed it. Gacy felt it. Gacy with bad, evil intentions going through his mind at this moment. Oh, and Dijak luckily just missed that trash can, but will it be enough for Gacy? Into the cover and another near fall.
Well, that 6'7" frame of Dijak just went somersaulting through the air. You're right, narrowly missing that steel trash can. That perhaps is the only reason why Dijak is still alive in this matchup.
Well, Gacy just grabbed a roll of duct tape. It's my playground! Time for you to... And we've always heard Dijak talk about feast your eyes on my Brandon Justice. He can't feast his eyes on anything.
Yeah, how do you defend yourself when you're blinded like that? Oh, no. Oh! Stop the bloody match, referee.
Kendo stick to the spine. Then Gacy is having fun in what he called his playground.
But it's all perfectly legal.
Maybe going to the upside down. Oh, Dijak, no way. Dijak with duct tape over his eyes. Feast your eyes. But Dijak can't find Gacy.
Yeah, crucial seconds being wasted ahead of an attempted pin, you would think.
Dijak could, I don't know how, first off, Dijak was able to catch it and bam! Deliver anything to Gacy. And finally, oh, how much is it? You ever rip duct tape off your arm? Imagine ripping it off your eyelids. Oh my, ooh.
I've heard the crowd chant, "You can't see him" before, though, and that was bad enough.
Well, Dijak finally is feasting his eyes on a sick Joe Gacy. I can't imagine what Dijak's thinking right now, because Gacy will not stop. Spikes Dijak with an DDT.
Well, he ain't thinking anything now. His brain is completely scrambled after that one, and he's in the drop zone.
Gacy, big splash onto the chair. Steel into the spine again, and no!
Oh, there's no way.
How close? Derek Sanders, the official, you could have slid a piece of paper under his hand.
We have just got two indestructible human beings. This match may never end.
Upside down, no, there!
All the momentum of that bouncing clothesline attempt.
That nightstick to the stomach, and then one more time, Gacy for the ride. Dijak falls into the cover. And finally, this match comes to a brutal end.
Here is your winner, Dijak!
Dijak decimating Joe Gacy. But Gacy is smiling.
He's out cold, yet there is still a maniacal grin on his face.
Who's more deranged, Gacy or Dijak?
Ladies, the calendar looks to be a massive success. Kelly, the response has been incredible. The line hasn't stopped. And as you can see, we have Thea and Jasmine here signing calendars, and Carmen was nice enough to stop by and sign some as well. We are almost sold out here in the venue. But starting tomorrow, the calendars will be available on WWE Shop and Fanatics, so everyone can get their hands on the hottest item in NXT history.
JC literally saved Chase University with this idea. It's amazing. I can't believe it.
No, she's literally a genius.
Genius. I like that. Kelly, it's only a matter of time before Chase U is saved from debt.
Vic, Wade, back to you.
Well, thanks, Kelly. While Wade tries to pre-order the calendars, our North American champion, Oba Femi, prepping for his first NXT Championship defense against Dragon Lee later on tonight here at Vengeance Day. But this rivalry has gotten personal fast. From ambushes to brawls, these six are out to prove the streets aren't big enough for both teams.
There's two things we take seriously: business and family.
The Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo.
It's been said that being honest is a dangerous thing. Well, Tony D must be the most dangerous man in NXT. Because I was honest with Jules from the beginning, and I backed up everything I said I was gonna do. Stacks, you proved you were a solid earner. Your days as being a soldier are over. I think it's time you become the underboss. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the glue of the D'Angelo family. Adriana Rizzo. She's ruthless, wise, and battle-tested.
Our time is now, Don. It's time for us to take over.
The D'Angelo family is gonna take the NXT Tag Team Championships!
I would not bet against Tony D's family.
Bada bing, bada boom. The Don and the Underboss are the tag team champions.
All that's left is we reclaim the streets of NXT.
And what streets you talking about, bruh? Where we from? We ain't never heard y'all names.
You see, our hood wasn't built for no comfort, but that bond Lucian I had was built to last. As long as I got my boy Bronco, it's a wrap.
You see, it's that bond right there. That's the main reason I wanted to rock with y'all. See, y'all know what it's like going to sleep, no dinner. Fast losers and slow winners. Reaching in your pocket for cash, knowing ain't nothing there. But by any means, we had to be Miss Parker, Miss Parker.
Y'all need pressure where you can't apply it. Who's got Riz? And I'm saying, Jada Parker's your missing piece. So what's up?
What's up?
It is simple. We make the rules. Stop playing with me.
Don't tell Tony and Stacks it ain't over until OTM and Jada says it's over.
OTM, listen up and listen good. You want to come into my restaurant and tear the place up? You made a big mistake.
They issued the warning book, and they're here. The Don, the Underboss, Rizzo.
You see, the D'Angelos should know better than to get mixed up in our street business.
OTM, there's street business, and then there's D'Angelo family street business.
Look, man, it's over for the family. I ain't never seen a problem like OTM before.
Scripps, you better be careful. You're bringing Bronco, Lucian, and Jada into a fight they're not gonna return safely from.
And at Vengeance Day, Tony, Stacks, and Rizzo, they're gonna learn. They should have just stayed their ass on the sidewalk.
Tony D and Stacks better bring it, because they're gonna get this work.
Listen, this isn't the first time we've done battles with the streets. OTM and Jada, you find out that the D'Angelo family loves a good scrap.
Rizzo finna find out Jada Parker ain't the one to play with.
Jada, my mother always taught me, Fool me once, I break your face.
OTM ejecuta todo.
This fight ain't nothing new. Neither's end result. The D'Angelo family will always own these streets.
For your style of fight, Vic Joseph, you should offer him a race on your BMX.
The following is a mixed tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied by Scripps, the team of Jada Parker, Lucian Price, and Bronco Nima. OTM!
Look, it was OTM who wanted to make an impact. They might have gone a little too far with Parker attacking Rizzo at lunch, which has brought us to this 6-person clash here tonight. And Wade, the family said they were coming for some revenge here tonight.
Yeah, the streets don't do clean fights. Every dirty trick in the book. That's what we're getting tonight out of these two groups.
Oh, no love lost between these two. We talked about Parker attacking Rizzo at lunch. Rizzo coming for a piece, using some of that advice her mom gave you. I'll break your face.
Yeah, you go into Tony D's restaurant and turn it over, there's gonna be consequences one way or another.
Well, things starting to settle down here. 6-person tag team matchup. The women will fight the women, the men will fight the men. Is Rizzo here and Parker starting things off.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jada Parker. Ask Scripps about this woman. What on earth made you go out there and expand OTM? Hey, we needed help. Rizzo was a problem. We found the correct solution in Jada Parker.
You better watch what you're saying. You keep it up, they're going to be calling you 4 nickels to go along with 2 dimes. And right here, though, Parker, OTM, they're not bothered by the bright lights early on. This, of course, Parker and Rizzo's premium live event debut.
Yeah, and what a lot of pressure that must be. Of course, Tony D and Stacks, they've been around the block a few times, but there's a lot of pressure on OTM, especially right now. These are some bright lights.
Bronco Nima entering. There's Tony D'Angelo, and that's a cheap shot.
The animalistic Lucian Price. He is the hothead of the group. You simply cannot get a handle on that guy.
And that tag was made now. Bronco Nima is legal. Cutting corners and, just stomping right through the dime.
Size of Bronco Nima.
You know, there's more than just pride in bragging rights online, it seems, between these two teams, between these 6 individuals, and we can't forget Scripps, who's out here lurking on the outside.
Keep eyes on your opponents at all times. Keep your head on a swivel.
The underboss with a little help from the Don into the cover. Hook of the leg, Nima able to kick out at 2. But look, you've been gone for a little bit. But what has it been like for you to see the family flourishing from afar?
Well, it's been all about experience for the family. They came in a couple of years ago. They were good from the off, but they're simply better and better as the months go by. And you have to think they've got some strategies to catch the less experienced OTM cold, and it's working for them right now.
We'll talk about the experience. There's Riz.
We're going
the Don, the underboss. The family would become NXT Tag Team Champion. Stacks becoming the underboss. Rizzo's arrival, all leading to tonight. And now take a look at those 3 beating down OTM.
Keeping an eye on Adriana Rizzo. She is a hot-headed, reckless individual who loves throwing hands.
That almost made Scripps jump into your lap.
Rizzo's trying to run the show.
Well, now Parker back up, getting dropped again. You're right, though, but
Rizzo
finally the Don saying, yeah, you're right.
Rizzo not great at waiting for instructions. She just wants to go head first into the firefight. Tony D, pump the brakes.
The Don doesn't want to be left out either. Things coming up all the family here tonight. And, you know, I want to go back to the beginning. I mean, you would have, I would like to say you would have taken the same stance into the cover and a kick out that D'Angelo and Stacks did after Rizzo was attacked.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You got to have the backs of your family, especially. Look at that from Adriana Rizzo. Heels first into the mush of Jada Parker.
Well, you take a look at the family. I mean, is there a lot on their plate? Not only the daily business. We got new #1 contenders, and that being the new Dusty Cup champions, Braun and Baron. They got their championship duties. They got all the OTM antics that they've had to go through the last few weeks. As Underboss coming right back in, able to land on his feet. Big right hand.
Yeah, you run the streets.
Hey, Scripps!
Here we go.
Ooh! Jada Parker, the official, did not see it. Distracted.
This is the streets. It's all about the dirty tricks. Who can execute them better? And right now, thanks to Scripps' involvement, it is swung the way of OTM.
And look at Price on the outside.
That is one angry dude. Look at the frown on him. Physique on these guys.
Underboss trying his best to get back into it. Look, we've talked about Stacks a lot. Able to withstand a lot of punishment. I just looked into Price's eyes.
Yeah, he didn't look at me, thankfully. He wanted you for whatever reason. Maybe he heard your BMX idea.
I probably should talk a little bit quieter.
Don't race them with your BMX. It won't go well. Just stay away.
Well, right now, things not going well for Channing. Stacks Lorenzo, long way away
and I was
from
worried.
his team.
I was worried about OTN coming into this one, their lack of experience at this level, but right now you have to say it's them who look like the veterans, and I put that down to Scripps.
Well, I'll take it a step further there, Barrett. The addition of Parker really has raised the game.
No doubt
of
about
OTM,
it, but
has
again,
it not?
that was a Scripps pickup. He sees the vision for these guys. These are less experienced people. Don't they make the mistakes that I made. I've got the plan, guys. Stick with me, and we're going to go far.
Talk about Parker. We also talk about La Madrina, Electra Lopez, what she's done for Legado del Fantasma. But take a look at that tag team tandem offense.
There's a double jawbreaker. How on earth Stacks is still moving is beyond me.
Well, maybe Nexus needed someone like Scripps or Jada Parker. Or the core, for that matter.
Yeah, maybe. I like that idea. Let's travel back in time 14 years and we'll implement it.
Well, right now...
Where were you when I needed you?
Huh? Oh, you didn't want me back then either. I certainly didn't know what I was doing. But when it comes to what's going on in the ring, OTM knowing what they are doing right here, right now, they have cut the ring in half. They are really just taking it to... Stacks, as Scripps is right here yelling at me in front of me. I mean, things breaking down on this side of things because OTM, as you mentioned, they're the vets almost in this match. They're taking it to Stacks, reaching out so close, couldn't make the tag, and that was a vet move. And again, it's because Scripps, to your point, here on the outside, is barking out the marching orders, and now they're looking for that knockout blow.
Punched over the top rope. When have you ever seen that before?
And there again, Scripps interjecting himself. Things are breaking down, and I feel bad for the official.
Lucian Price punches like Tyson Fury.
Another cover, another count, and another kick out by Stacks. And I just looked into Stacks' eyes. He is in a lot of pain. He is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, are you surprised?
Kind of.
Genius. He's in a lot of pain.
I'm looking right
These
now.
guys are tearing him to pieces.
I hate to give you credit, but I got to come back to something you said. It looks like OTM is a little bit more prepared in this matchup thanks to Scripps. Scripps came in with a plan. Jada Parker came in with a plan. They're executing the damn thing right now. They're beating down the tag champs,
Here's what's going on. When it's gang on gang like this, when you isolate one man, you can utilize the numbers game. It was always going to come down to who got the upper hand first.
Into another cover, and and finally the Don having to stick his nose in the business.
He had no choice.
They're trying to create a little separation, and then he gets dumped to the outside.
This is utter domination from OTM, a group that we knew very little about. Now Rizzo's been flattened.
We learned very little, you're right, but we're learning a lot about them tonight. This is a different style. This is a different look. And OTM's eyes, they are taking it to the champions. Into the cover goes Nima, hook of the leg, and Stacks had to kick out on his own. And Wade, how can he possibly have left? I don't even see the Don. I don't see Rizzo, but I'm seeing Stacks get his ass kicked right now.
Just look at the timing between Lucian and Bronco Nima. This is expert tag work from what was essentially deemed a rookie team up until tonight. We'll throw that out the window. This is a coming out party for OTM.
They are opening some eyes. The first ever NXT Premium live event in Tennessee has been off the charts. All roads lead to Philadelphia. Stand and deliver WrestleMania, and OTM could be making their mark here tonight to clear their own path to stand and deliver on WrestleMania Saturday. But Stacks turning things around, finally makes the tag, and in comes the Don to pick up some business.
Yeah, pretty angry Don at that. He's fresh and he's ready to clean house.
We'll say that one more time. He is just tossing around OTM. Nasty landing. Don doesn't give a damn. He's taking it to Price. He's taking it to Bronco Nima.
Mess with the family. You mess with Tony D. There's a price to pay, and those are the consequences for OTM.
And how has the Don really matured since your last NXT visit? He's taking things into his own hands in this moment.
Well, he truly has become a leader, not just of the family, but of the brand itself. Ooh. Call in Rizzo.
Rizzo coming in, flying through, back to the live action in the ring. Remember, this matchup continuing. No tag was made. The Don is legal. And look at him checking on Stacks.
Stacks has barely moved, and who can blame him? He might get into his feet. He must feel like jelly all over.
Oh, wait, was that a kick? Wait a minute, this launching Stacks. Well, we didn't mention his loyalty earlier.
That might be all you can do with Stacks at this point. He is just a human missile. I don't think he can move on his own accord.
Barrett, look. Rizzo looking to fly. Wiping out OTM.
The 5-time All-American long jumper, and we saw all of those explosive hops off that top rope.
The Don, the superstar, legal for his team. And Scripps trying to get involved again, paid the price.
Tony D just one step ahead of everything from OTM at this point.
Big spine buster.
You've enraged the boss.
That Italian blood flowing right now, and you can't forget about it. Big win for the family.
Here are your winners, the D'Angelo family.
That's why he is the Don of NXT.
Well, hats off to Stacks for that durability, for Rizzo for that sheer aggression, but the pure class and experience of Tony D is what made the victory for the D'Angelos.
And that really was the turning point, because that kind of snapped the Don, snapped Rizzo. Right here, Rizzo flying through the air. Really was maybe that wake-up call that the family needed in this matchup, because for the most part, it was all OTM until the Don, Stacks, and Rizzo flipped the switch.
Make no mistake, despite the victors, this was a coming out party for OTM. They are a problem in NXT going forward.
La Familia E22, the family stands tall. As I mentioned, this is the first ever NXT Premium live event in Tennessee. We are in Clarksville tonight. It's been an unbelievable vibe inside the F&M Bank Arena. And we'd like to extend a special thank you to Bring Me the Horizon for Dark Side, the official NXT Loud theme song of NXT Vengeance Day, available now on Apple Music and Spotify.
Izzy, to get where we're going, we have to do some strategic analysis. I mean, this women's division's only getting stronger. I mean, you could say that again. Time for us to work smarter, not harder. Bingo. Whomever walks out of Vengeance Day, Roxanne or Lyra, as champion, that's our new target. So here's a list of potential obstacles that pose a threat to our ascension to the title.
I mean, solid list, but I can stand about none of them.
We need a future-proof NXT. And at the top of the list, Kalani Jordan. Time to take out the future before it begins. I am sick and tired of everyone saying that she's the future of NXT. I see right through that wholesome little act. Of course you do. Izzy, do me a favor. Keep ears to the ground on Kalani. If there's anything that gives us an advantage, I need to know about it. Say no more. The little brat's not gonna know a hitter. Izzy, do whatever you need to do. I always do. It is what it is. I like the sound of that.
That's a bad girl view.
I'm good for real. I'm gonna be straight. Yeah, yo, Doc, Melo gonna be good or what?
Yeah, I'm all right. Hey, I'm all right.
All right.
Hey, Doc, thank you. I'm good.
Hey, bro, why'd you take that spear from me like that, man?
Man, I had to take that bullet for you, bro. Braun spears you and Ilya benefits from that. Look, you got an NXT championship tonight. And that's the most important thing. Look at you already got a busted lip, man. Come on. Hey, the Dusty Cup is slipped between our fingers. But what are we gonna do? We gotta take that L on the chin, man. Tonight, you have to slay the Mad Dragon and win the NXT championship. That's the play. Right?
Hey, bro. You know how much that means to me, man.
Of course.
You having my back like that, that means everything.
I got you.
But hey, tonight...
Look, I know. Tonight, you gotta go out and get this win by yourself. I know.
Nah, not this time. Tonight, when I win that NXT championship, I need my brother by my side.
Yeah?
I need you right there, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, bro.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this, man.
Let's do this thing, man. Come on.
And who will be champion WrestleMania weekend as Roxanne Perez looks to reclaim what she never lost, and Valkyria looks to soar and to stand and deliver with gold around her waist.
Roxanne Perez, breakout winner, tag team champion, Royal Rumble participant, and the NXT Women's Champion who never lost. The Prodigy. Just on nickname alone commands respect. I respect you so much because you make me question if I'm doing enough. At Vengeance Day, all that admiration goes out the window when the bell rings. When I beat you, I will have proven to myself that there are no question marks when it comes to my championship reign. You may be different, but on February 4th, the results will be the same. Roxanne Perez has had a great run, but Lyra Valkyria has risen, and now it's my time. I don't hope I beat you. I don't pray I beat you. I need to beat you.
Well, there is the champion looking to check off another box on her journey as champion. As Perez looks to reclaim a title she believes should still be hers, a title she never lost. Who's walking out NXT Women's Champion? And wait, last year at this event, Roxanne Perez actually walked in as champion. I want to get your thoughts, honestly. Do you see it through her eyes that she knows the struggles Lyra's going through right now? She's ready to exploit those struggles. She's ready to reclaim what she never lost.
Well, the truth is, any champion ever who has a championship goes through the same struggles that Lyra Valkyria is currently having. So yeah, I understand that from Roxanne Perez, but to me that simplifies the situation too much. I get your struggles, therefore I'm going to beat you. I'm not buying it. Lyra Valkyria has proven she's the real deal, not least by beating none other than the man Becky Lynch. She can beat the best in this game. Roxanne wins tonight, she's got to do it the hard way.
Now let's do it on the flip side. Do you see it through Lyra's eyes? She's not rattled. She's not bothered. She's here to gain
the respect of another peer. She's here to check off another box on her journey. She does not want there to be any questions regarding her championship reign.
Yeah, I absolutely get that, and I applaud Lyra Valkyria for that approach. I would be the same if I was a champion and there's a former champion never actually was defeated for that title. I would want to strike that blemish off my record too.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Women's Championship! Introducing first the challenger, Roxanne Perez! And her opponent, she is the NXT Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyria!
Well, we keep talking about Perez looking to reclaim what she didn't lose. We got to go back to last March. Roxanne Perez successfully defended the Women's Championship against Meiko Satomura. She collapsed after that match. That's when the struggle began to get back to this point. Never been beaten one-on-one for the NXT Women's title. Was never beaten for the tag team titles. Wade, if you remember, you were here in NXT at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got no qualms whatsoever with Roxanne finally getting this one-on-one opportunity. She absolutely deserves it, but you can ask for it for a long time. When you get it, you better make sure you get in there and perform.
Winner one step closer to walking into WrestleMania Saturday at Stand and Deliver as the NXT Women's Champion. And isn't it crazy to think that Roxanne Perez was never beaten for any title she held? I mean, how would that eat at you?
It would eat, I mean, listen, once upon a time, 2014, I was stripped of a championship, the Intercontinental Championship, because I received an injury. I then watched over the next 6 months as a host of guys ended up holding that title. Deep down in my soul, I knew they were not the champ. I was sat on the couch, rehabbing. It angered me every single day. So I understand the perspective of Roxanne Perez. When you get that opportunity to get your title back, you better take it.
You talk about that anger. Is that what maybe has contributed to the more shoulders down and kick out? Has that contributed to maybe more of the aggressive side that we've seen out of the Prodigy? His shoulders down one more time. Another near fall. Nice counter by the champion. Challenger kicking out. Right back in. Rolls through, shoulders down, and another near fall. And take a look at the bridge. The power of Valkyria. Looking to try to get the backslide. Oh. Perez is able to kick out one more time. A quick back and forth between these two. But is that what has led to the more aggressive side of the Prodigy?
Yeah, in part, but it has been a traumatic 12 months for Roxanne Perez. She was the fresh-faced, naive youngster when I was last here in NXT. She is battle-hardened by life right now. Personal breakdowns, personal tragedies, seeing women come and go with her title. And of course, some absolutely gruesome matches that she's been in. This is a battle-hardened woman.
I'll talk about some of those matches. She won Weapons Wild. She won in Devil's Playground. She beat 19 other women for this championship opportunity. And she's in there with Lyra Valkyria, who's been through the grind also herself, which includes defeating Becky Lynch to become the NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, and that gives you a level of confidence. For many, Becky Lynch is the #1 woman on the planet with or without WWE championships around her waist. So to go into battle with Becky Lynch and become victorious to earn that NXT championship, wow. You know you can do it when the lights are at their brightest.
Now, what do you think of a signature win as well? Doesn't that make the target on your back a little bit bigger when you defeat someone like Becky Lynch, when you become champion, when you come here to Vengeance Day, as we got a little stalemate between the champion and the challenger?
The target becomes bigger, but so does your reputation. That target starts to move. It's harder to hit, and that is the case with Lyra Valkyria now. She's proven that she is the real deal.
I think it goes back to what Valkyria said, that she just wants the respect of more of the peers in the locker room. She doesn't want the question marks, the clouds hanging over the title reign, which is why she has this one-on-one match, why she's been looking forward to this one-on-one opportunity against Perez. And it's the battles with those like the man that have prepared Lyra Valkyria for this matchup here tonight. And again, these two have known each other so very long. They've watched each other kind of grow up here in NXT, both being champions. This has been an even matchup.
Yeah, and it's a very cagey start. Both women know one mistake and it could be over for them. That is the level of respect these two clearly have for each other as competitors.
NXT Universe here rallying behind both these superstars as Perez using a little bit extra from the top, charging right in. Now maybe trying to quicken the pace in this matchup. Goes around not once, but twice the takedown Valkyria. And it's important to note, too, for Perez, chasing history. Only two other women have held the NXT Women's title more than once. Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, what a duel.
Incoming!
Oh! Match, but that was Bullhammer-esque. Perfect timing, perhaps lying in wait was Lyra Valkyria, and now the champ has risen.
And Valkyria one more time on the button.
Just when Roxanne Perez thought she had a head of steam in this one, here's the game changer for you in a heartbeat. Bang to the temple, and Roxanne has not looked the same since.
Heavy artillery coming out from the champion as Valkyria to the top, looking to soar. Has her target in sight. Missing, though, just in the last moment. And incoming with a Thez press is the challenger. And now it's Perez who's on top. And it's Roxanne Perez who said she's not going to be pushed around anymore here in NXT. She wants her championship back.
Well, that is the ace up her sleeve for Roxanne. She is so elusive in that ring. She is so nimble, diminutive, and using it to her advantage.
Valkyria had to know this was going to come to some point in this match because she was warned by Perez. Perez is not the same lucky-go person she once was. Roxanne Perez now knows she might have to take a high risk. Springboard moonsault. Got all of it. Into the cover, time on the line, and another near fall. Valkyria just able to get that left shoulder up. And for Perez, almost like she's trying to regain her focus in this matchup after another near fall. But take a look at the rotation and then stick in the landing. And Perez back to live action. Big right hand followed by a forearm buckling the knees of the champion.
The champ is completely wobbled at this point, throwing whatever she can at Perez to get a little breathing room, but that did it.
And Valkyria hooking up Perez. Nice suplex, cover, count to retain, and a kick out by the challenger. And there wasn't a lot on that kick out.
Yeah, I think Valkyria knew full well Roxanne was gonna kick out there, but again, buying herself a little time to recover from the previous beat.
Oh, looking for it one more time. This time it's countered inside cradle. Another near fall, almost a new champion here at Vengeance Day.
Valkyria knows she cannot write off Roxanne that easily. It's gonna take something special to put away the former champ. Oh! Right on the back of the neck of Roxanne. That was an ugly landing.
What a German suplex from Valkyria. And if you noticed, she had the foot hooked of Roxanne Perez in an unusual position. And it's Valkyria now who is taking it to the challenger. Everything coming up for the champion in this moment, on this night. Now just trying to overpower Perez.
Now Valkyria has to make a beeline for that neck of Roxanne Perez. That could be shattered right now.
Talking about the high risk earlier from Perez. Perez maybe now trying to go for broke in this matchup. Swinging, maybe emptying the tank in this moment.
Turn into a slug.
To the top! Valkyria rocked. In comes Perez.
Oh.
Pop rocks, connects. Rolling through into the cup. It's Lola fights with an official.
Oh, here we go. History's about.
Tatum Paxley just got dropped. The guaranteed contract is in Vice's hand for winning the breakout tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lola Vice is executing her breakout tournament contract. Therefore, this match is now officially a triple threat match!
And wait, think about this. Triple threat rules. The odds just shrunk for Lyra Valkyria, who just got caught by Buenos Noches. Valkyria does not need to be factored in the decision to lose her title on an air fall. Another near fall. Lola Vice has changed the game, and Perez and Valkyria, I mean, what the hell's going through their mind right now? This now a triple threat match. Didn't connect from behind. Looking for a submission. MMA background could be coming in now for Vice.
Locked in center of the ring. Lyra Valkyria nowhere to be seen.
Putting all that weight on the back of Perez. Perez is fading. The official's right there. Perez trying to fight. Lola Vice has sent shockwaves through the NXT universe. Everyone's on their feet in Clarksville.
And Roxanne Perez is fading in a hurry.
Roll through, shoulders down. Oh, and Vice has to let go of the submission.
Only way out of that submission, but there's a KO, Vic.
Another big kick, shoots the half, title's on the line. Perez kicking out, showing the heart of a champion, but now another submission, triangle choke.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire for Roxanne Perez. There is simply no respite.
Perez,
fresh, Lola Vice, wait.
Valkyria. Perez somehow, and you got to give credit to Perez, the wherewithal, the presence to break up that count, but let's reset for a second. This has turned into a triple threat match. Lyra Valkyria with this big splash. And then Perez saving the matchup for herself, but it's triple threat rules. Champion does not need to be factored in the decision to lose her title. Lola Vice has executed her championship contract that she won from winning the women's breakout tournament, and this has turned into a damn slugfest.
Yeah, this is bizarre because both Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez game planned for a one-on-one matchup. They were both exhausted by the time a fresh Lola Vice executed that contract. This has changed everything. The favorite now has to be Vice.
Look at the plethora of kicks.
Simply no way to block that speed.
And wait, I mean, how do you adapt on the fly if you're Perez? How do you adapt on the fly if you're Lyra Valkyria?
Simply got to hope muscle memory kicks in and hope that your body is not too beat up to protect yourself.
Lola Vice has been waiting for the right time. Premium live event spotlight to execute the contract, to possibly put gold around her waist.
I'm going to tell you, Vic, I did not like the execution from Lola Vice. I would have waited until both women were down and out, but perhaps, I'm going to say Lola Vice might know something I did not, but Roxanne just about getting out of the jaws of danger.
Trying to run, and Perez now looking for a 2-for-1. A Russian leg sweep DDT combo.
Vice may well have got the worst of that one.
See if that gets put in WWE 2K24. But look who's up. Look who's standing. It's the Prodigy. She wants back her damn championship.
Suddenly getting that second wind is the former champ.
Everyone is down but one. And look at Roxanne, she knows she has to get one of the two back into the ring. It's the only place she can win the NXT Women's Championship.
Roxanne looking to right a perceived wrong and get back her gold.
High cross body, Valkyria rolling through. And the champion showing the heart of a champion, powering up, and boom! Nightwish connects. Vice saving the matchup, but quickly Lola into the cover, trying to steal it, and Valkyria breaking it up.
Almost parasitically taking that victory away from the champ. Lyra Valkyria didn't quite do it, but this one is up for grabs now. Good luck picking a winner.
Look at the NXT universe. It's about the NXT Women's Championship, and I don't know about you, Barrett, but the game changed for me when Vice came out here, changed the game for the two competitors in the ring, and Lola Vice trying to change the game inside the whole women's division. If she can crown herself champion of Valkyria with a near fall.
Lola Vice,
she's out. That's a knockout. That's a cover, and it's not quite enough to crown a new champion.
Well, that was the weakest kick out of all time, and now an attempted armbar.
Trying to break the grip, Valkyria doing anything she can, trying to hold on to not allow Lola Vice to lock in this armbar.
Lola Vice just has such a wide arsenal.
Kick out, and again having to relinquish.
Vice has countered the counter, but that might have been a KO in itself.
Perez from behind.
I mean, admire the engines of Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez especially to keep ticking at this pace, this deep into a matchup.
Absolutely unreal. Pop rocks! Pop rocks again hits, and there's Tatum Paxley again. There's no disqualification.
The ranged fan of Lyra Valkyria coming to her aid once again.
Looking for Buenos Noches, didn't connect. Valkyria though, looking for Nightwish. Got all of it and somehow survives.
Here is your winner, and still the NXT Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyria.
Well, amidst the pandemonium, it is a retention for Lyra Valkyria, but it was Roxanne Perez in the closing stages who looked like she had this thing.
Yeah, I mean, this matchup, this was the pop rocks that we all thought was gonna maybe bring Perez back the title, but this is the moment that shook us all. Lola Vice coming down, executing her championship contract, and right here, bam, pop rocks for the second time, but it's Tatum Paxley who ran interference. I don't even believe Lyra Valkyria realized it, but did realize Lola Vice was targeting her, was able to duck it, and bam, hit that Nightwish to retain the NXT Women's Championship.
Well, the intervention of Paxley, without doubt, is the reason why Lyra Valkyria still has the gold, and if I was Roxanne Perez especially, I would feel aggrieved at that.
Another battle feather added to the collection as Lyra continues to soar towards Philadelphia.
Hey! Hi. Sorry, I think you're the best, and you deserve the best. And I came all the way to Clarksville just to ask if you have a Valentine yet.
No, I don't have a Valentine. I don't have anything. Actually, anyone. Nothing. Yes. No? No.
Okay, well, great. Will maybe you be mine?
Yes! Yeah, 100%. Totally. Yes.
Yeah, you will?
Totally. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
We should plan something.
Okay. Yes,
Do something.
please. Come on. Yeah.
What a premium live event it's been tonight here at Vengeance Day, welcoming back Wade Barrett. But I'm also excited to announce that we got a premium live event coming to Savannah, Georgia, Memorial Day weekend. It's NXT Battleground, and not to be outdone, our next TV special on NXT Tuesdays on USA. Roadblock coming your way on March the 5th, and the question is, who will be walking in North American champion? We're about to find out in a matter of moments. And tonight's for Dragon Lee. He won't be caught by a surprise. Lost the North American title to Oba Femi, who executed his championship contract on NXT several weeks ago.
Yeah, and I'll take nothing away from the mechanism of how the breakout contract works. I love it. I think it's great. But you can beat a man when he's exhausted from already fighting. Let's see you prove you are the real champ by beating the same man when he's fresh.
Dragon Lee, of course, would love to add a title around his waist once again in the form of the North American Championship.
Yeah, but he's got a metaphorical and perhaps literal mountain to climb tonight if he's to do just that thing.
6'6", over 300 pounds, nearly a foot taller, and 150 pounds heavier than his challenger here tonight.
Listen, I was in the locker room at the Royal Rumble last week. Every top star from Raw and SmackDown were asking the same question. Where the hell did they find this Oba Femi? 2 months ago, nobody was talking about this guy. Then you see him debut in the breakout tournament. Yeah, I get it. He's probably going to need a few years maturing, figuring this game out. Hell no. This guy is ready yesterday, and he's a big, big problem for the entirety of WWE.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT North American Championship. Introducing first the challenger, Dragon Lee! And his opponent, he is the NXT North American Champion, Oba Femi!
Dragon Lee so desperately wants that championship back for everything that it represents, and Dragon Lee was here in Clarksville earlier today along with some other NXT superstars before Vengeance Day, as NXT collected over 200 donations with the local organization YPAC to support tornado relief efforts here in Clarksville. Dragon Lee wants to be able to give back. He wants to have the platform. He wants his championship back. But he's got quite the mountain to overcome in Oba Femi, who didn't even want to hand the championship over. Dragon Lee coming out hot, right out of the gates. Dragon Lee wasting no time, looking to take flight. Holy hell!
This is about as smart a start as Dragon Lee could have possibly made. Try and get the jump on this big monster.
Saw my live flash before my eyes with Oba Femi almost falling into our lap, but just like that, the power of Oba.
7, 8 seconds, that's how long Dragon Lee looked good before reality hit the luchador.
Well, and Oba Femi now just turning things around, and just look at the power of Femi. We talk about the size. He's carrying around a man like Dragon Lee, not even breathing heavy. No problem at all. Is Lee trying his best, almost out of desperation, able to land on his feet and roll through. That's one way to stay up, and Lee right back in. And that'll take down any man, no matter their size.
Well, physically, Dragon Lee has absolutely zero chance against Oba Femi. His one big chance here. Dragon Lee's opportunity is to outfox the big man. Use your experience, stay nimble, keep moving, and hope for a miracle.
Well, he was hoping to do a little more damage and just being caught out of midair. And Lee again using this quickness, his elusiveness, his speed to try to chop down Oba Femi.
Well, it's certainly not the first mountain that Dragon Lee has had to climb in his career. He's rarely going to be the bigger guy in the match, but it might be the biggest mountain of them all, and perhaps the one with the biggest prize on top. Double footstep.
That might be it. And another kick out by Oba Femi.
If that doesn't do it, what the hell are you going to pull out?
I mean, wait, take another look and just check out this impact. Just right there to the side of the face.
I've never seen that before. Usually guys connect on the chest with something like that. To connect on the head, it's still not good enough.
Games may be over now. Oba Femi just planning Dragon Lee. And you won the OG version of NXT. You've seen them come, you've seen them go. Some in the back actually refer to you as the grandfather of the brand. So having seen, not what I said, they said. So having seen so much, what were your first thoughts when you saw Oba Femi for the first time ever in the ring several weeks ago in the breakout tournament?
To be clear, when I won the first season of NXT, I had 6 years of experience at various levels before that. Oba Femi, as far as I'm aware, does not have that. He's a fresh crossover athlete, and when you get guys like that, it takes years to refine them, to get them
into a cover hook of the leg, and the challenger just kicking out.
To get them a level of poise, experience, confidence in this game. This Oba Femi is an absolute freak. He didn't need that. He just took to this like a duck to water, and this guy is scary. The scariest part, we have just scratched the surface. I have no idea how good this guy can be.
To your point, you think about the breakout tournament, you think about a matchup, his first matchup, that was almost a year ago for Obafemi on NXT TV. Less than 5 matches in his career. You talk about the experience you had. Less than 5 matches in his career to finally win a championship. He won the NXT North American title in his 5th match.
Yeah, and now dominating a guy who has been deemed the next Rey Mysterio. This Dragon Lee just getting thrown around the ring with abandon. It has just been too easy for the champ Obafemi so far. Dragon Lee better start thinking fast.
Oh, and Oba dropped the LWO this past Tuesday, then he swatted Lee out of midair into another cover and a nope. Just getting that right shoulder up was Dragon Lee.
Obafemi isn't even breathing heavy. Guys that big, generally as the match wears on, they start to struggle. Not Obafemi, this guy's special.
You brought up Rey Mysterio. You brought up Rey Mysterio a few moments ago, and it seems like for Dragon Lee, he's put extra pressure on his shoulders after being anointed the future of Lucha Libre.
No, I don't agree with that, Vic. I think Rey Mysterio gave him that chalice because he believes in him. He believes in him because there is something damn special in the world of Lucha Libre. When it comes to Dragon Lee, it's not added pressure, it's just a reality. This guy is the future, but the future ain't happening tonight the way this is going.
Referee's at 6, at 7. Dragon Lee crawling back to the ring at 8. He's not even on his feet yet. He does it 9. Can he break the count? And he did it by a half second.
But for what? Straight back at the feet of danger.
To keep his hopes alive, Barrett, that's for what? He's got a fighting chance, don't you think? Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
What a backbreaker.
There's your answer, Vic. There's your fighting chance.
Dragon Lee tried to convince Obafemi to defend the title in an open challenge, defend a title that he held with honor and pride.
I like the answer. No freebies. You want a championship opportunity, you've got to earn it. The open challenge era is over. This is the Obafemi era.
This has to be it. And maybe for Dragon Lee at some point, and he kicked out again, but at what point's the referee gonna maybe step in to save Dragon Lee from himself? Well, Dragon Lee's not gonna quit.
I was asking you the same thing 60 seconds ago, and you said he's in there with a fighting chance. There is no fighting chance.
I had a different look at things than I do now.
He might be in there with a broken spine, and it's only getting worse.
Dragon Lee trying to create a little bit of separation, and back to that open challenge. No one's going to argue with Obafemi. No one's going to get in Obafemi's face, but Dragon Lee trying his best, doing his thing here. Spins around, gets caught again by Femi. Look at the champion.
Nice.
Look at the challenger. He does have a fighting chance, Barrett. Can he make Obafemi tap?
I mean, just wrapping yourself around the massive limbs of Obafemi is difficult in itself, but trying to manipulate them, this guy is so big, so strong.
But it's working because Femi's down to a knee.
The monster is fading.
Pulling, prying, trying anything he can to cinch and squeeze the life out of Obafemi, but Femi again just too powerful, back to his feet.
Well, that's the experience factor. I guarantee you, Obafemi has never tasted a move like that before. He's figuring it out on the fly. How do I get out of this?
Femi sees that top rope. You see a little bit of the strain in the shoulders.
Maybe even panic in the eyes of the big monster.
That is true too, Barrett. He has never felt this before, and by his teeth.
It's unique, but it worked.
Dragon Lee not letting go. Dragon Lee holding on. Dragon Lee trying to get the big man down, and I don't know if that's a tactic that's gonna work. Overpowered yet again in Dragon Lee, though. That elusiveness, that fighting spirit.
The champ is wobbled.
Super kick connects. Enziguri connects. Femi's down to his knees.
And you
back to his feet.
You have to stack offense against a big man like Obafemi.
Big tornado DDT.
Is exactly what the challenger is doing.
This could be it. Jumping knee under the jaw. Femi's down. Femi's rocked. Femi's hurt. But Femi's still alive.
It took about 6 shots to the temple, back to back to back. But this is the one that finally put the champ down. But for how long? Not long enough for Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee focused now. Dragon Lee has got his 3rd, maybe his 4th win in the matchup. Big drop kick. Still didn't take down Oba. A second drop kick. Still hasn't taken the big man down. Finally, Femi is down again.
And we have never seen Obafemi tested like this. We're about to find out what Obafemi is really made of.
3rd drop kick connects. Will it be enough for Dragon Lee to recapture his North American Championship? And Femi again able to kick out. It's all about the North American title here at Vengeance Day. The champion Oba Femi in his first defense of his title against the man he beat when he executed his breakout tournament contract, Dragon Lee, and Lee has brought the fight. Dragon Lee has brought everything, and there's no
chance.
way.
You're out of your mind, Whoa!
Sit down! Power bomb! Oh, how?
I'll tell you this, Vic, I don't care how big and scary you are, when you get rocked, when you start tasting your own blood, when you get thrown around like this, you start to doubt your own abilities. But we're learning a lot about Oba Femi now. He's still in the fight. He ain't giving up.
I don't know what was more impressive, the kick out by Femi or the power from Dragon Lee to hoist a 6'6" man over 300 pounds, then up, over, Dragon Lee caught. Oof. Lee doing his best to break away. Big knee under the jaw of Femi. And Oba now, somehow still on his feet. Lee, though, charging back in, and he just got swatted out of thin air again.
Like a frying pan to the chest. And Oba Femi has a scary look in his eye. What on earth is he concocting, Vic?
Well, he just wiped out Dragon Lee. And he could be looking to wipe out our announce desk.
He's looking bleak for Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee able to counter with a DDT.
Yeah, just in the
Was that on the monitor?
Just bounced off the cowl, perhaps the monitor too. That was an ugly landing for Oba Femi, but thankfully for Dragon Lee, he stays alive in this one.
Well, you talk about the inexperience. This could be the experience of, how that? Like a monster back to his feet. At first you don't succeed, try again. Barrett, you just got out of the way.
I need a new chair. Dragon Lee needs a new spine.
And Oba Femi looking to put the finishing touches possibly on his first championship title defense, but Dragon Lee with second thoughts, shoulders down, near fall. Femi just able to power out and then bulldozes Dragon Lee. A fortune teller spoke to Oba Femi about his power and overtaking an industry. He's well on his way to doing so with performances like tonight.
He believes there is a prophecy driving him. It's written in the stars.
He just tossed Lee like nothing, like a shot put, like he was back in college dominating the SEC. Powerbomb, good night. Oba Femi retains.
Here is your winner, and still the NXT North American Champion, Oba Femi!
I want to take nothing away from Dragon Lee, who when all was said and done was able to fight back throughout this matchup, but this was just unreal. The strength of Oba Femi is just unreal with what he can do with other humans, just launching them with no remorse, with no care, and then this brutal, vicious powerbomb.
Few questions were asked of Oba Femi tonight. The NXT North American Champion answered every single one of them and passed this test with flying colors, Vic.
His size, ruthlessness, and immense strength is an equation I don't know who can solve. So who can step up and take down the North American Champion?
Miss April. Thea Hale.
Yeah.
How about a little spring fling with the king?
Right, Lexus. You need to stop.
Thea, when are you gonna learn that Riley Osborne is not the guy? Huh?
Ava, Vengeance Day has been amazing so far, and it's your first PLE as GM of NXT, so how are you feeling about it all?
Kelly, there was a lot of pressure going into tonight, but I think it's been a hit. I mean, every single match has been incredible, and we still have our main event, so safe to say, it's been a great night. And also, Clarksville has been such an amazing host to us. I'm so happy.
I completely agree about Clarksville. I really feel like NXT is starting to build momentum and hit its stride as we're gearing up for Stand and Deliver. So what is next?
Well, on March 5th is NXT Roadblock, and then after that, Soft to Stand and Deliver. Speaking of that, ticket sales for this year have easily surpassed those from last year, and I think that's so exciting because that means that this year's Stand and Deliver has potential to be the biggest event in NXT history.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. So we've had success after success. Does that mean it's safe to say that NXT is going back on the road again?
May 26th, NXT Battleground is headed to Savannah, Georgia, and NXT being back on the road, it's a testament to how hard all of our superstars work. I'm so proud of this brand, and I really think it's something special.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Ava.
Of course. Thank you so much, Kelly.
All right, I took time thinking about this.
Good, yes.
Getting it? Yeah. All right, man. So this took some time reflecting, as you would say, Brindley. And I got my 5 likes.
Good.
First, I mean, we look like $1 million. The gear looked good. Thanks for the headband. Appreciate that, by the way. 2, we went toe-to-toe with 2 former champions, and we gave almost everything that we had.
Yeah.
Almost. And 3rd, just like always, we came out with the crazy energy. The people was chanting Malik the Freak.
I like the Freak.
Come on. And 4th, that frog splash I hate was splashing, if I do say so myself. It was clean. And 5, that Idris elbow was so clean that I almost saw my own reflection through it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. All right, give me the hard stuff. What'd you get for dislikes?
You know, I struggle with this. Only had 2.
That's okay. That's fine. What were they?
You know, our communication got lost near the end, and we lost.
What else you got? That was 2, so she said
Yeah,
5. Come on, read it up, read it up.
Help. What did you get? Come on.
Guys. Likes? Dislikes?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, you gotta know that stuff isn't actually gonna help you, right? Right, we faced Braun and Corbin, 2 certified monsters. You face Trick and Mello, who can't even get on the same page, mate. Hey, should I give him a hard-hitting home truth?
Please, Don.
Go ahead, come on.
Not again.
All right, if we faced you last week, we'd be heading to Vengeance Day.
Wait, guys.
What you mean by that? What are you talking about? What you mean?
Hey, hypothetical questions give you hypothetical answers. So I say we put the truth theory to the test, Nathan. 2 teams, 1 answer. Goosebumps. Yes! Oh my God, I can't wait! Woo! Oh my gosh, I'm gonna help them. They're gonna be so good.
Well, let's talk about this Tuesday because 2 Dusty Cup teams with something to prove. This is going to be fast-paced, high-flying. Axiom Frazier and Off a Blade Tuesday live on NXT. Well, also this coming Tuesday, Lexis King stepped towards Thea Hale and Riley Osborne did not like it. Maybe it's love, or maybe it's the fact that it's cupping season. Either way, it's King Osborne one-on-one on NXT Tuesday on USA. And the Wolf Dogs will be howling on Tuesday because you won't want to miss Braun and Baron's. Wait a minute, what's going on? What's going on? Well, you can't blame Roxanne Perez, who lost her moment earlier tonight to recapture the NXT Women's title. But whose moment will it be in our main event? Trick has waited a long time for this opportunity, while the Mad Dragon's motives have been questioned heading into this NXT Championship match.
I started my WWE career with nothing but ambition. I came with a work ethic and a good attitude, from the rookie to the main event. I am Trick Williams.
I can prove to the world exactly what I'm capable of.
6'3", 235 cars on a granite. That's a star, man.
Oh, I'm bout it.
You and me, we like Kobe and Shaq. Let's talk. We are the dream team.
We Trick and Mellow game. We always gonna be here.
That's all it is.
And that's all it's gonna be.
There comes a point in a man's life where you gotta go out there and do it himself.
He's sick of being told he's a sidekick. He wants to stand on his own 2 feet.
I'm that guy now. I'm Trick Williams. I'm the man here in NXT.
Yeah.
Trick Williams stepped up.
I like it.
And is now a champion himself.
Trick Willie can back up every single word that I ever said and prove that I can be one of the best.
Trick Williams, the ultimate Iron Survivor, is the #1 contender for the NXT title. Trick Williams cannot be denied.
Trick, our title match will be at Vengeance Day. Fortunately, Trick, nothing and no one can stop me.
This is that undying will that Dragunov possesses.
In 2023, I showed the whole world who Ilya Dragunov truly is.
Dragunov, Williams finally meet for the NXT Championship at Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day. Yeah, Vengeance Day, bro. No, that's when we're supposed to be in the Dusty Cup Finals.
Trick Williams will now pull double duty. It's Williams, it's Hayes in the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Trick, Ilya sees you as a threat. He knows that you're gonna have to wrestle twice in the same night, so he's gonna do anything to make sure that we don't win the Dusty Cup and that you don't win the NXT Championship. He was messing with Corbin, he's messing with you the same exact way, man. When are you gonna see it, bro?
Dragunov, I think you've been playing me this whole time.
Maybe you should be more concerned about Carmelo Hayes. I know exactly who attacked you.
We know what happened. We got here. Who attacked Trick?
Ilya, it was you. You have some kind of voice in your head that is giving you really bad advice.
No matter what happens, we still Trick Mello game. Yeah, we always gonna be. Yeah.
The same exact way, man. Let's lock this thing in, man. Let's get this championship. It's your time. You're ready for this thing, man. Let's lock it in. All right? That's behind us. Let's move forward. Let's slay the man dragon.
We usually have a lot of fun in this moment, but I want to get serious for a second. Because I talked to Trick earlier. April 7th, 2019, the day Kofi Kingston won the WWE title, defeating Bryan at WrestleMania. That was the moment when Trick decided the dream he wanted to pursue was to be a WWE superstar. He wants the platform to be able to send positive messages out in the world like Kofi did. That's why this moment, this match, this main event means the world to Trick. He has to win the NXT Championship.
Look at you doing the deep emotional stuff. I just wanted to have some fun and be MC Bullhammer again, and you ruined it. You talked through the whole thing.
I want to talk about Trick Williams. I want to talk about what Trick Williams wants out of this, why this match means so much, why we go back through the journey, through the trials, through the tribulations. It's all for this moment, for this man. And there comes our champion, who respects Trick Williams. You can see it in his eyes when Dragunov speaks, but tonight, still breathing the fire as he walks in to this main event matchup. You know, I want to bring this up to you before we enter this main event match, all fun and games. I'm trying to save you from getting sued again from Booker. Booker's got Clarence Mason now on the case.
Look, Booker's complaining. I know how to handle Booker T. A bottle of cognac and all the problems go away. But cognac's expensive. I might get him cheap brandy, but the sentiment is the same.
Well, it's all about the NXT Championship. Who's one step closer to Philadelphia? Who's one step closer to WrestleMania Saturday? Who's one step closer to stand and deliver?
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Championship! Introducing first the challenger, Trick Williams! And his opponent, he is the NXT Champion, Ilya Dragunov!
Before we get officially underway here, Wade, do you believe our champion, when he warned Trick, if he shows the slightest weakness, he will break him piece by piece? Is there too much going into the mind right now of Trick Williams?
Well, I think the champion, the more experienced Dragunov, has been playing mind games with Trick Williams for weeks now, and it's a smart strategy. You defeat a man mentally before the fight, you make him ask questions, you make doubts enter his head, you're halfway to victory.
Well, you can feel all the emotions here tonight.
Well, feel the emotions. Look at the lip of Trick Williams busted open. Trick Williams is pre-fatigued, having, let's face it, a war with the Wolf Dogs earlier tonight.
Well, Trick Williams coming right out of the gate, dropping Dragunov. Dragunov, if you go back to the first meeting these two had, came out of the gate very hot, much like he was trying to do, but was caught, much like he just was, by the challenger. And Trick Williams now powering over Dragunov. You know, with everything going on tonight, flooding Trick's mind, flooding his heart. You already mentioned the opening match of the night. How did you feel heading into your first one-on-one main event? Big drop kick didn't connect.
I'll tell you right now, it was way back in 2010, and my entire body felt like lead for the first 5 minutes of the matchup. I needed to be beaten from pillar to post before I could even wake up. It was the most intimidating moment of my career, but Trick Williams showing no sign of nerves whatsoever.
There's Carmelo Hayes on the outside, liking what he's seeing after that drop kick. First you don't succeed, you try again. Hayes sacrificed himself for a Trick earlier tonight, costing himself the glory along with Trick of winning the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic as Dragunov able to counter, and then look at the Constantine special.
That was to the nose.
Right off the forehead or the bridge of the nose, as you mentioned, and this is getting physical.
Now Dragunov is tasting his own blood too. This one's got ugly in a hurry. And my question, as we take another look at this clothesline to the nose of Trick Williams, the one problem with Dragunov, when he tastes his own blood, he gets even better. This is the worst thing that could have happened to Trick Williams.
Well, Trick not walking around making punchlines anymore. He's strutting around to make headlines, and he could make a huge one tonight, but there is Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov said this match, the match he had with Trick, a few months ago, made more of a man than anything he did with Carmelo Hayes. He believes he started the rise of Trick Williams.
Yeah, and what a cheap shot that is to Carmelo Hayes. A man who has been there by Trick Williams' side from the beginning, a man who has coached up Trick Williams over the past 2 years in NXT to take him to a main event level. That is disgusting, in my opinion, from Dragunov.
So you're telling me that, in your opinion, Ilya Dragunov's been playing Trick Williams?
That's exactly what I think. He's been sowing discord between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Thankfully, it hasn't worked. The bond is simply too strong.
Well, you see these two being battered and bruised already. So again, you go back to what you just said, as Dragunov now setting his sights in a big right foot across the face of Trick Williams. This matchup was originally slated to be at New Year's Evil one-on-one, so not being medically cleared by our medical team was part of this was part of this plan from Ilya Dragunov.
Well, I think Dragunov has a busted nose right now, so he might be medically signed off again. No, I don't think that at all. When the doctors sign you off, don't allow you to compete, that's not your opportunity to say, no, I don't want to listen to you, doc. Absolutely, he was signed off, but it has played out very well for Dragunov in the fact that Trick Williams is double booked, now pre-fatigued, and after a nice start, he has seemingly hit the wall.
This has been a physical matchup in the last few minutes right out of the gates. And again, both have been embroiled in a months-long controversy around who attacked Trick Williams. So I want to bring up a point again when you talk about Carmelo Hayes. It was Hayes who accused Dragunov of those heinous attacks. Dragunov's a man of respect, of honesty.
He says he
him for
is.
his word.
He says he is. We don't know. We don't know who attacked Trick. We don't know what went down.
You promised me everything. Everything!
But I'll tell you this, Vic, this match has got ugly in the early goings, both competitors bleeding, in a situation like that, that has to favor Dragunov. You're in his realm now. Trick Williams has been dragged into the territory of the champ, and that's experience that's done that.
Well, Carmelo Hayes not liking what he's seeing in this moment, and then again, you got to go back. His Trick fighting through, trying to persevere, much like Dragunov does. Dragunov, though, trying to power back and able to get that waist lock back on. Nice takedown, though, by Trick Williams. We have to remember, Trick Williams has already competed once tonight in a tag team matchup to kick off the night for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Yeah, and he's showing all the effects of that first matchup and indeed this current matchup with Dragunov. That's part of the problem with Dragunov. He often defeats opponents before the bell rings. Because you know, once you're getting in there with Dragunov, he is taking you to hell. Kicking and screaming, and that is where Trick Williams finds himself now.
Williams almost got on his feet, right on the floor. Another German suplex.
All before the eyes of Carmelo Hayes, who looks pained and panicked at the sight of his boy Trick Willie getting mugged off.
Not quite a moment. The look in the eyes of Carmelo Hayes tells the story as the referee being very lenient on this matchup. He wants to see a winner, trying to get both these superstars back into the ring. It's the only place that Trick Williams can win the championship. But right now, staring a hole through Carmelo Hayes, a dagger through the body of Trick Williams delivered by Dragunov.
That Death Valley driver right on the hardest part of the ring, the apron, sends a message to Trick Williams and indeed Carmelo Hayes.
One more look, and you talk about nasty landings all night long. And again, the body of Trick Williams, everything that's been through Trick Williams in this matchup. He's already competed once tonight. This, our main event, all about the NXT Championship. Trick Williams, Ilya Dragunov. One would say this rivalry has been built on respect, and it's Dragunov himself who has said that he pushed Trick to the next level.
Yeah, that's absolutely ludicrous. The man before our eyes there, the man helping Trick Willie back to his feet, the corner man tonight, the former NXT champ, Carmelo Hayes, is solely responsible for the rise of Trick Willie.
Hayes trying to fire up Williams. Williams get back into the ring, but got caught by Dragunov, who was waiting on his perch into the cover. Titles on the line, and Trick Williams fighting free to keep his championship dreams alive.
Yeah, but for how much longer? Things are looking really bleak right now for Trick Williams. Another of those clubbing clotheslines to the head.
Shooting the half is Dragunov. Is this going to be enough to keep Williams down? And another kick out by Trick.
These are targeted attacks as we take another look at the leaping champ connecting fully with an unsuspecting Trick Williams. When they train you how to clothesline, it's always at the chest and neck. It seems that Dragunov tonight is targeting the face of Trick Williams, taking him out of his element, letting him know he's going to hell.
And for a man who loves pain, in Ilya Dragunov, he is getting a lot of Trick Williams' A-game here tonight, but continuing to fight as Williams, but the same is said for our NXT champion.
Dragunov earned that one.
The challenger defiant, and that just pissed off the champ. Listen to the heavy artillery. Dragunov staring right into Williams, who wants Dragunov to bring it. This is breaking down, Barrett. Trick. Dragunov, though, on rubber legs, and it's got to give a little extra fuel right now to Trick Williams. He's got to remember a few things. He's got to remember that it was Dragunov who blamed Trick Williams for coming up short this summer at the Great American Bash.
Well, we better start remembering quick, as this one may be over in a few seconds.
Looking for the H-bomb. Nice. The foot on the bridge of the nose.
Capoeira style, connecting to the face of the chair. Blind blower.
First 48, we're all witnesses. As is Carmelo Hayes for maybe Trick Williams' greatest accomplishment.
Well, this is as nasty and as gritty as Trick Williams has ever had to be.
And you got to think of everything Trick Williams is bringing you right now. Think about what Carmelo Hayes did earlier tonight when he took that spear from Braun Breaker, when he sacrificed himself for Trick. Trick may be a little worse for wear right now, but he's in the game, damn it, and he might be closing on the NXT title.
Yeah, where were the conspiracy theorists when Melo put his body on the line earlier? That's why Trick is still in the fight.
Trick out to prove he's more than just a sidekick. He's out to prove he's the man. He's out to prove that he's the hottest thing in NXT. He's out to prove he's the next NXT champion.
There is magic in the air tonight for Trick Williams, digging deeper than he has ever dug before. And damn it, you have to do so when you're in there with the Mad Dragon.
Trick isn't special because he was chosen. He was chosen because he's special. Listen to the NXT universe. Champion able to counter, taking on the challenger. Back up, big kick under the jaw. Champion now back in control, looking for Constantine. Special one more time, got countered. Looking for maybe that Uranagi. Trick taking a couple of blows to the side of the face, answers back with the right. Dragunov connects with the right foot. Williams bouncing off Dragunov, and the challenger and the champion are leaving it all in Clarksville, Tennessee, on the road to WrestleMania, on the path to Stand and Deliver.
And the bigger man, Trick Williams, getting the best of that exchange, using all the power he has in his soul.
Take another look. Trick Williams is flying through the air. He will not be denied here tonight. And he talked about that clothesline earlier. Trick Williams remembered it. Trick Williams remembered everything Dragunov has said, remembering all the highs, all the lows, remembering every day he spent in the Performance Center to achieve this moment, becoming the Iron Survivor, becoming the Ultimate Iron Survivor, becoming the #1 contender for this moment. He's got to leave it all. He's got to empty the tank against Dragunov.
Oh, this is where training goes out of the window. It is what you've got in your soul.
And back to the outside. Trick, though, with Carmelo Hayes out there, is mindful that the only place he can win the title is inside the ring.
Kidneys of Trick Williams slammed into the ring apron. A desperation move, perhaps, by Dragunov as he clings on to his NXT Championship reign.
And there's Carmelo Hayes trying to shout words of encouragement to Trick Williams. Williams, oh, we saw this earlier. I don't know if Williams can survive it a second time. Williams able to block, able to counter, and trying to turn things around.
Oh, no.
Big Uranagi to the floor.
Dragunov tried his best to block that on the way down. It didn't help on the back of his head. Slammed against the floor.
But look, with everything going on right now, Carmelo Hayes is right. Trick Williams has to get Ilya Dragunov back into the ring. This could be the best opportunity. This could be the golden moment Trick's been waiting for.
Your chance to make history. Trick Williams, finish it!
And again, for a man who says he loves pain.
I'm about sick of you. You're the reason everything has happened here.
Whoa! Inhale! To say that Carmelo Hayes did not want to get Trick Williams disqualified, but inadvertently Carmelo Hayes just clipped the knee of Trick Williams.
Yeah, inadvertent collision effect, bouncing, ricocheting into that knee of Trick that may have been hurt earlier in the night too. Remember, he tweaked it in that tag match.
Dragunov, though, trying to overcome it. There's Trick Williams. And Trick Williams now, he is in deep water, but he's still swimming. Big neck breaker, champion's down.
What a gutsy performance from Trick Williams.
Williams played his own symphony of destruction tonight with an H-bomb for the title. Hook of the leg. Into the shock and awe of the NXT universe here. Dragunov able to kick out.
This is what we've seen time and time again from Dragunov. Throw the world at it. And Trick Williams practically did that. He simply keeps on ticking. What the hell do you have to do to keep Ilya Dragunov down for just 3 seconds?
Carmelo Hayes, who's been in these big match situations, these main event championship caliber matches under the bright lights of premium live events, is trying to get some blood, some feeling back in that knee that just gave out on Trick. Dragunov trying to hoist up Williams for the second time, and this with a little extra oomph on that jackknife. Followed up with an H-bomb that we've seen so many times in the past.
The skull.
And Hayes knows it. Hayes can feel it. Hayes can sense it. He's been on the receiving end of the H-bomb. He knows just how damn painful that can be.
That is a skull-shattering elbow drop. And Trick Williams hasn't moved.
There's nothing Hayes can do except watch. Dragunov. H-bomb again. Into the cover. Trick kicked out! There's still hope if there's still breath in his lungs.
He's gutsy, he's unyielding, and tonight, Trick Williams may well be unbreakable.
NXT Universe on their feet. Dragunov setting his sights. Trick's back up. Trick able to duck out of Torpedo Moscow. Face first into the turnbuckle. Big boot connects. Cover that man! God! How? Oh my, this place was ready to blow the damn roof off the F&M thing.
Any closer. Dragunov committed, made the error. The connection to the temple. He's out cold, but now Mello getting involved.
Couldn't get any closer. Oh! Hayes shouting words out. Taking out the official. The trick knee! The trick knee under the jaw! Cover! There's no referee! Wait a minute, there is! There is! There is!
Oh, that may have been the moment.
I'm about to come out of my damn tux!
That may have been Trick Williams' moment. Gone up in smoke. The previous referee inadvertently taken out of proceedings.
Trick Williams had Dragunov down. The Trick was checking out Carmelo Hayes. Hayes telling Trick to turn around. Dragunov now trying to take advantage. You got to wonder where Dragunov's head's at. Dragunov can't be seeing clearly, but somehow still the presence of mind to deliver that knee. Boom! By another H-bomb.
Double whammy on a spent Carmelo Hayes, but Dragunov perhaps not making that cover in time.
Another H-bomb dropped by Dragunov. NXT Universe trying to give Williams everything they got tonight, but it may not be enough. Looking for that exclamation point is the champion. Trick got the knees up! Trick got the knees up! Well, remember the damage that was done to Williams as Hayes barking to Trick. Trick now trying to pull himself up. He's got to remember those long nights. He's got to remember the drive that wants to make him a champion. Challenger, looking at the champ. Champ, looking at the challenger. Torpedo Moscow, wait a minute, Dragunov into the cover.
Here is your winner, and still the NXT champion, Ilya Dragunov.
Heartbreak setting in for Hayes. for the NXT Universe. But man, you can't take anything away from what Trick Williams did here tonight, pushing Ilya Dragunov to his limit. Really just a turning point. Carmelo Hayes was in dangerous territory, almost getting disqualified, but inadvertently fell into the back of that left knee. Williams had to battle through that pain, and at some points wasn't able to stand on his own 2 feet, where Dragunov was able to take full advantage. But Trick Williams tonight, he showed you, bam, the spirit of a champion, the spirit of what has made him the hottest star in NXT. But there maybe was another turning point. Carmelo Hayes was trying to talk, the official was actually trying to talk to Trick Williams. He was taken out, and that was the moment there. Trick Williams should be the NXT champion. Finally, another official would make that long run down, but it was just enough time to get Dragunov a little bit of life to kick back out. And then going from the top, Williams got that injured knee up to create some separation, but then go toe-to-toe, bam! Blow for blow. It was Dragunov coming out on top with that torpedo Moscow.
Both men completely spent and fading, but this is where gods are created in this game.
The Mad Dragon still breathing fire. Who will be able to extinguish the burning desire of our NXT champion? In short, long live the
so
Tsar.
freaking close, okay? Look, it's you and me, dog. It's Chicago gang, okay? We always gonna be here, okay? Okay, bro, you were so close. You were my boy. You were my boy. this. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault.